If you've stumbled upon this message, know this with complete certainty. It isn't a random glitch or a mere coincidence. Thoughtful. What you're experiencing is the universe answering the quiet question your soul has been asking. Deep in the part of your heart where doubt started to creep in, there's something you needed to hear today. Right now, before your hesitation turns into giving up, recognize that you've stayed silent, carried on as if everything is finished, convincing yourself that you've moved on. But inside, a question lingers, a quiet uncertainty that steals your peace. The answer to what lies ahead in this connection isn't something you can force. It comes from a higher plan. And at this moment, clarity is arriving, and you can no longer ignore it. Sighs. Forget thinking you're overreacting or imagining things. The intensity you feel is real. You don't love in vain, and you are not loving alone. The connection between you and this person isn't born from fleeting thoughts or random attraction. It comes from the soul. It carries depth and meaning that the mind cannot fabricate. The most important thing to remember today is this: do not give up. You're on the edge of a manifestation prepared long before you even realized it. Behind the scenes, unseen forces are moving in your favor, and that sense of change approaching is not an illusion. The fact that their name won't leave your mind and your heart keeps returning to them isn't obsession, it's a sign that this bond exists on a level untouched by distance, silence, or time. The first step is to stop seeing separation as failure. Physical distance is only an illusion. The energetic connection between you is alive and active. Your soul remains in constant contact with theirs, and the emptiness you feel reflects their awareness of your absence. Even if they appear distant or hide behind their fears, the universe sees what is real. This love that entered your life has a purpose far beyond surface desires or human logic. It is spiritual and profound, and it cannot simply disappear. Soon, you will notice signs confirming that their soul is calling to yours. To recognize this, you must understand that the true key lies not in what you do outwardly, but in the certainty you hold within. Remain steadfast, not out of impatience, but from deep trust that what belongs to you cannot be lost. Destiny will not allow a connection it created to break. Follow your intuition, that inner voice that reassures you this love is real. Someone out there genuinely loves you, thinks of you more often than they admit, and this is only the beginning. Integrate this awareness into your life. Embrace it fully, and you will move from doubt to clarity, from confusion to understanding. Despite distance or silence, you are not alone. The intensity you feel is a truth the universe has placed within you, and it will guide your path. Perhaps at times, it feels like this connection demands more than you receive, or that it's slipping away. This is only a perception, not reality. The universe wouldn't plant a love of this magnitude in your heart without guidance and purpose. When your heart returns to the same place again and again, it isn't a trick of the mind. It is a bond rooted in the soul. Silence and distance cannot destroy this connection. The real question is why it persists, why their name remains, why it hasn't faded. The answer is simple. It is alive, stronger than you realize. What is destined to be yours on a soul level cannot vanish. No pause or misunderstanding can erase it. What you feel isn't weakness, it is confirmation. Your soul is affirming that this love belongs to you. There is a profound difference between what the eyes perceive and what the soul knows. You might see distance, indifference, or coldness, but do not mistake the surface for truth. Inside them, feelings for you remain alive. Love like this doesn't always show itself openly. Sometimes it retreats, protects itself, or hides, often out of fear. Even if it seems they've moved on, they haven't. Even if you think you are forgotten, you are not. Moments, thoughts, and memories bring them back to you, as the universe witnesses every one of these invisible connections. So how can you sense that this connection is active now? Emotional telepathy is the first sign. Their seeming absence is not a lack of love. It is their way of coping with overwhelming feelings. Some souls love so deeply that they freeze or pull back briefly, needing space to breathe. While it may feel like everything has stalled, the universe is showing you that nothing has truly stopped. Their emotions are active, even if hidden, moving in secret where you cannot see but where destiny works tirelessly. This inner motion affects your energy directly, manifesting in ways you might misinterpret as coincidence or stress. When they think of you, their energy travels along this invisible thread and reaches you, confirming that the bond you share is alive, present, and unstoppable. Sometimes it shows up as sudden waves of sadness or a heaviness you can't explain, moments when life seems gray without reason. That feeling isn't yours alone. It's the echo of their longing, the reflection of their regret that reaches your emotional field. You might think it's your own melancholy, but in reality, it's theirs. Another sign appears in unexpected flashes of memory, when their face or a shared moment suddenly pops into your mind so vividly that it makes you pause. These moments aren't random. They're the universe signaling what your intuition has already known. The connection hasn't faded in their heart. You are more present to them than you realize. Their soul reaches out through these thoughts, reminding you that the bond is alive. You may feel warmth in your chest or face at just the right moment. They're thinking of you, sending energy that flows across space, quietly but powerfully. This connection also touches you physically. Sometimes a sudden chill or an emptiness in your stomach mirrors their fear or withdrawal. That feeling of being drained isn't a coincidence. It's the reflection of their emotional state reaching you through the invisible thread that binds your souls. Even music can act as a bridge. A familiar song or melody sparks memories and reminds you of them. These are not random triggers. The universe uses them to show that your connection is active and alive. When they think of you, even silently, the energy vibrates through space and resonates in your body. Nights when they lie awake thinking of you, days when memories tighten their chest. These are the invisible gestures of a love that cannot be turned off, no matter how much they try to hide it. The persistence of this bond is no accident. On a spiritual level, it exists because of a destiny plan, often called a soul agreement. You didn't just meet by chance. This connection was prearranged long before either of you entered this physical world. It is a pact designed for growth, awakening, and shared purpose. Souls bound by this plan cannot be fully separated until the lesson is complete. Attempts to forget or let go are temporary illusions. What is destined resists all obstacles. This is why their name remains in your heart, and memories continue to vibrate. The universe uses these signs to affirm that this connection is real, to guide you to remain centered. What feels like waiting or silence is actually a necessary part of the plan. The apparent distance is not a rejection. It is a pause orchestrated by destiny. The universe is giving them the time and space to heal, to process, and to return whole. Silence is not indifference. It is an energetic overload caused by emotions too intense to navigate. They haven't learned how to manage this depth yet, so they retreat, much like a wounded animal, to protect themselves from the force of what they feel. This withdrawal is their attempt to rationalize something that feels uncontrollable, to regain a sense of balance over emotions that are overwhelming. It is not a reflection of diminished love, but of the magnitude of the bond. Their fear isn't of you, it's of surrendering completely, of the vulnerability that comes with loving so deeply. Because the love you share is profound and real, it evokes both awe and fear. Their retreat is temporary, a way to cope with emotions that are stronger than anything they've experienced before. They may try to distance themselves, to regain control, but the energy between you remains intact, unbroken by silence or separation. This is why your intuition feels so strong. You are sensing the truth of this connection beyond what the mind can explain. Every sensation, memory, and inexplicable feeling is evidence of a love that defies logic, a bond that persists because it exists on a level far beyond the ordinary. The universe reminds you constantly that what you share is authentic, that it is alive, and that you must hold trust in this invisible but undeniable reality. They are now caught in a battle with themselves, torn between their own nature, the ego that whispers, "Protect yourself, keep your distance, don't trust this love," and the part of them that longs for your closeness, that calls your name silently. Silence becomes the battlefield where this inner conflict unfolds. Yet the universe is at work even here. Within that quiet, a force is moving, nudging them toward awareness. Destiny presents circumstances that remind them of what they've lost, what remains unfinished. Your absence creates a burning emptiness that nothing else can fill, and attempts to distract themselves only make the connection more apparent. When you feel tempted to read their silence as disinterest, pause and recognize that it reflects an inner struggle, a process of healing and self-confrontation orchestrated by the universe, dissolving the ego's armor layer by layer so they can finally meet you with wholeness. This love you share acts as a mirror, showing them the light within themselves that they might fear to recognize. Past wounds and betrayals have left protective walls that instinctively react when confronted with something pure and unconditional. Their fear doesn't come from the present or from you. It comes from memories of loss and disappointment, from a belief that intense love inevitably ends in pain. The universe guides them through this inner transformation, a dark night of the soul, forcing them to face fears, old patterns, and unresolved emotions. This silence is a necessary part of the process. It is purification, a way for them to shed defense mechanisms and approach the connection from a place of maturity and awareness. When they return, it will be from completeness, not dependency. At the same time, this period shapes you. You are learning to love without losing yourself, to remain calm without depending on their presence, and to trust the unseen flow of destiny. You are becoming stronger, more centered, and more aligned with your own energy. This mutual growth ensures that the reunion, when it comes, will happen from balance rather than need. Your clarity and faith are crucial. Doubt slows the manifestation, certainty accelerates it. By declaring with conviction, "I trust in the manifestation of this destiny," you reorder your inner energy, breaking the chains of fear and opening the door for what is meant to return. True trust isn't passive, it is the conscious release that allows the law of magnetic attraction to work freely. Letting go does not mean giving up. It means allowing love to flow naturally, without pressure or control. Chasing creates resistance, while detachment invites alignment. This isn't just about outward actions, it's about your thoughts, expectations, and emotional energy. Every moment spent focusing on them out of need or fear weakens your frequency. When you bring your energy back to yourself, cultivating peace, joy, and confidence, you become magnetic. The universe sees you whole and radiating, and this energy reaches them. Your balance becomes a guiding light in their dark night, drawing them back, not out of obligation or pity, but because your clarity resonates at the soul level. Once you release pressure, the connection flows freely, aligning destiny with the natural return of love. The universe orchestrates this separation as part of a greater plan. It isn't punishment, it's preparation. Without space and reflection, this love could collapse under its own intensity. The pause allows both of you to grow, to shed old patterns, and to cultivate awareness. You learn to love independently. They confront fears without relying on your presence. Through absence, the bond matures, transforming into a connection that is conscious, stable, and deep. Destiny reminds them repeatedly of what truly matters, creating situations that reveal your irreplaceable presence. This careful timing ensures that when reunion occurs, it is born from readiness, not necessity, resulting in a love that is both aware and eternal. Now, the signs of the return begin to appear. Emotional telepathy grows stronger, bringing vivid thoughts, waves of warmth, joy, or tenderness that wash over you unexpectedly. These are the signals of your souls reconnecting, the evidence that resistance is fading and their heart is surrendering to the truth of their feelings. Pay attention to patterns and synchronicities, the same numbers appearing repeatedly, moments when you wake at the same hour, or sudden flashes of memory or feeling. Each of these is the universe confirming that the path is opening. Eventually, their fear of closeness will be outweighed by the pain of separation. That is the moment destiny has prepared, the turning point when running no longer makes sense, and the connection naturally flows toward reunion. The emptiness created by your conscious release becomes impossible for them to ignore. Where once they could distract themselves or hide behind protective walls, now the universe removes every escape. Restlessness sets in, sleep becomes elusive, and a persistent sense of incompleteness drives them to confront what they cannot forget: you. Their heart gradually realizes that life without you is more painful than the risk of loving fully again. This is when the silence begins to break. The fourth and final stage emerges: sudden clarity. When they return, it will not be hesitant or partial. The dark night of their soul has burned away confusion and ambivalence, leaving only clarity, determination, and genuine reciprocity. You will sense it in their voice, their gaze, and every action. This reunion is not a compromise, but a deliberate, conscious manifestation. The universe orchestrated this pause not to make you falter, but to prepare both of you for a new chapter, mature, healed, and fully present.